let's start it off. Now, we're going to be dealing with the Good Samaritan parable today.
All right.
But I also have, I was reading an episode, I was reading an article from Crossway.
Right.
This woman's name, she's an author. Her name is Danielle. And so I like the article that she wrote on how to love your neighbor and everything. So I kind of used the outline that she had. And we're just going to comment on some of the statements that were brought forth from there.
Okay.
And I did message her recently, and I let her know, like, yo, we're going to be using this. This is good material. As I let anybody else know that whenever I use their stuff. So,
cool.
Anyway, man, as Christians, we always like a top 10 list or like a top 10 or 10 something. I don't know. It kind of goes with the 10 commandments. So I'm going to give 10 statements, and we're going to run through here on what it means to love thy neighbor. All right.
Cool.
So the first one, loving your neighbor means receiving God's love. Right. It means to know what is love and to know that you are loved by God.
Right.
1 John 4 says, in this the love of God was made manifest among us, that God sent his only son into the world so that we might live through him. In this is love, not that we have loved God, but that he loved us and sent his son to be the propitiation for our sins.
Right.
So we need that reminder of what love really looks like. And the ultimate, the best, the top, number one way of showing what real love is God sending his son into the world to die for us who did not deserve it.
Right. So then it begs the question, how do you define love? What does love look like? Or can love look like anything outside of that?
Well, yeah, I think it all stems from the fact that it was sacrificial.
Right.
So it's self-sacrificial, really. To sacrifice your own needs and wants, you should say, for somebody else's greater good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jesus gave up the riches and the glory that was in heaven
He
to
became
come down
poor,
here.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. God so loved the world that he gave.
For our benefit.
Right.
So anything that is connected to that when it comes to being a spouse, truly loving your spouse is putting them before your own self.
Right.
Being a good parent, same way. Being a good friend, being a good pastor, being a good member of the church, being a good member in society.
But what do you do with like morality out there, you know, as far as not having that reality and that truth of the gospel? Because that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
What do you do when people claim that there's love out there, but they don't have the gospel? What do you call that? Right? It's a good question.
No, it's good. It's good. I think that God we're made in his image. So I think that there's certain characteristics that we can just naturally have and not even acknowledge God as creator.
Right.
We can literally say to someone, we hate God, but we love humans. Right. Now, usually it's the other way around. People say, I love God, but I hate humans.
Yeah.
But you can literally say that, where you can say, I don't believe in God, but I do believe in helping another human being, or even an animal, or helping the environment, or something like that along those lines, is having love inside of you.
Yeah. God
has made us that way.
Yeah, I think, you know, again, we're made in the image of God. So you can have a couple that don't know Jesus manifest characteristics that, you know, are from the image, the imago Dei, that God has put in everybody. I think the issue is it's not eternal. You know, it's not. You know, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, where it talks about even if you give up your body, but have not love, you have knowledge of all the mysteries, but have not love. You know, it's talking about not having God. Right. You know, so all those things, though good, you know,
it doesn't benefit you if you don't have God.
Yeah, there's no, you know, there's no eternal worth.
Right.
Right. And so there is a distinction where when we say love thy neighbor or love thy neighborhood, we're referencing God.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what you read in 1 John 4:9.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And into you give one more comment on that. I think our understanding of love comes from the fact that God has shown his love throughout history.
Right.
A lot of, even when Americans say stuff like, they don't believe in God and Jesus isn't the only way, just random stuff like that, where they kind of just down the Bible and all that. They got to remember that a lot of their own thoughts on love come from the Bible.
Right.
Those are those presuppositions that come from a biblical mind state that has been here in America. No, it's not been properly displayed all throughout history in America.
Right.
But the Bible has been here, and it's been one of the top authorities in America for a long time here. So you got to remember that too. Even as Americans, a lot of our philosophy, being Americans, comes from the Bible.
Right.
So when we say, I just want to love people and stuff like that, you got to remember your ideal on what love is comes from Jesus and the Bible. The fact that all love originates from God. All true love originates from God. He is the source and the origin of love. Anyway.
David Lee Donovan says it's called natural affection.
Absolutely.
Right.
I would definitely agree with that.
But it's in that box. It's in the box of nature, of how you call it, it's in the box of creation apart from the creator. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's something to point out, because God is love.
Mm-hmm.
He is the standard. He is himself the standard.
Absolutely.